The show starts off with a young girl getting off the train. She is too anxious and accidentally bumps into someone, though she apologizes and continues on her way. Since she doesn't know the city well enough, she picks up a map and heads over to a police station to ask for directions toward her destination. She stumbles upon a cute cat, though her luck isn't that well with furry friends, and the other runs away. After much struggle, she finally arrives at her brother's residence. Akiko's brother is surprised that she arrived that early, as he was about to head to the train station and pick her up. Akiko informs him that she usually heads out 2 hours in advance, no matter what the task is, and promises that she won't be ready this early in the future. Her stuff has been delivered here already, and her brother, noticing that she is being too formal, instructs her to behave as she is used to in their childhood, and welcomes her to her new home. Akiko is excited about the two having to attend the same school and can't wait to meet new friends. Though, before meeting with other people, the thing she has on her mind is getting to know her brother more closely. As she had just moved in, her brother, Akito, advised that she take a bath before getting some rest and go into his room. Akiko misunderstands this and believes that the other will try to peep at her during her bath. For this sole reason, she completely gets naked in the bath, assuring herself that this will tempt her brother. However, when Akiko realizes that the other isn't peeping on her, she gets enraged and barges into his room without any clothes on. The other doesn't believe what he is seeing and instructs her to get on some clothes before further talking to him. The only thing on Akiko's mind right now is lustfully tempting her brother and getting his attention, and thus she notifies him that she will be awaiting him in the bath. Even after counting up to 8K, Akito doesn't show up, and she doesn't feel good about this. After she is done bathing, it's sleeping time, and she expects the two of them to sleep together. Akito straight up refuses her request and informs her that the two are now too old to be together to be doing that. Akiko once more misunderstands that and feels that the other means sleeping together and doing on the cold floor, and she is excited about her first time. Her brother cannot believe what this devil is saying and tells her that this sort of relationship doesn't exist between siblings. Akiko is still dead set on making out with him despite his refusals, and since they were apart for 6 years, the two shouldn't have a problem doing anything weird. After much arguing, Akiko finally assures him that she will restrain herself for the night, and the other leaves to his room to get some sleep. The night passes, and the next day, Akiko reveals that since she saw him after so long, she has a hard time controlling her brother's complex tendencies. She's deeply in love with him and is quite open about the lustfulness she feels toward him. Akito tells her that this is weird, and they should do something about this, but the other is persistent and notifies him that he should cherish her more since it is uncommon for siblings to have sexual tendencies toward each other. Wow, they went on to justify this too, huh? She tells him that this whole time he has been trapped in her plan, and now anyone who sees them together will believe that they are a couple. Akito is extremely bothered by all this banter, but can't really do anything since the other is too naive to back off. Later, as the two are talking outside, Akiko wants him to let her sleep on his lap as a reward for all her hard work, but the other straight up tells her that she wouldn't be receiving any of that reward, and the other feels betrayed. Even though the building is old, Akito feels grateful that they have such a beautiful house where they can spend a whole day without getting bored, and the two decide to get to work. As he is about to leave, Akiko confesses her love to him, and in return, Akito equally tells her that he loves her too, in a brotherly way. Akiko still can't believe that these words are from his mouth, and passes out. Their school begins, and Akiko isn't really happy about it since she is interrupted by her classmates visiting their house. Their friends at the student council have also moved in with them, and they head to the market to buy something for dinner. Akiko isn't happy about having no usual time with her brother and believes that they all are the reason he is being driven away from her. At night, as they all prepare for dinner, Nasuhara, the blonde girl, suggests that they quickly decide who is sitting next to Akiko tonight, and each of them wants to be the lucky one. He doesn't get his own opinion, and when Akiko gets defensive about this, Nasuhara quickly shuts her up for being a virgin, and Arashi warns Akiko that she can steal Akito whenever she desires and make him a proper man. Sawatari suggests that she sits next to him since she prepared the dinner. Akito stops Akiko from arguing with them, and she almost begins envisioning a married life with him, though she is soon hurled back into reality. Akiko is reading a book about an incestual tale and feels that her brother should be acting like the main character since the character is in love with his sister, though she doesn't reach the climax as Akito disturbs her and enters the room. She misunderstands this and thinks that her wish has come true. Akiko is expecting him to make a move on her, but after Akito reassures her that he isn't here for any sort of that weird thing, she tells him about the book. After informing him of the story, the other is disgusted that his sister has been reading about the forbidden love too much lately and advises her to stop reading it. Since she is too persistent, Akito advises that he won't stop her from her usual habit of teasing him or reading weird books, as long as she doesn't bring them up in front of him. Especially the author, since Akito seems to have a profound dislike toward him. Akiko wants to elope with her brother, just like in the book's story, but the other closes her door from the outside, making her unable to interrupt him for the remainder of the night. The following morning, Akito heads to a cafe hurriedly as a young girl, Jino, awaits him there. He apologizes for arriving late, and then the two get down to business. Jino praises him for his improvement in writing and gives him some more work. At the school, Akiko comes over to Akito's class and begins teaching him the forbidden trait of tsundere. She wants to trick him into saying the very words she desires right out of his mouth. However, Akito isn't one to be fooled easily, and he tells her with a flat face that he isn't interested in her at all. Akiko gets bored, seeing that her attempts aren't going anywhere, and decides to head back. In the locker room, when her friends ask whether she has been watching popular TV shows lately, her response is only about her brother, and even the girls are a bit irritated at seeing how obsessed she is with her brother. Nasuhara approaches Akito and asks about going to a picnic. As Akito declines it, since the weather isn't really good, she begins to tell him about the tsundere culture and how it feels like the national disease of Japan. As she is about to leave, she sets the picnic plan for the coming weekend. During the break, he heads outside with Sawatari, who offers him her lunch and inquires about his activities with his classmates. Since he is new here, she is worried that he might be getting bullied, but he assures her that her worries are misplaced and nothing of that sort is going on. Since the conversation is getting too loud, everybody's attention is caught by them, and Sawatari quickly leaves in embarrassment. Afterwards, he heads to the student council office, where Arashi finds him, locks the door, and begins making moves on him. As she is about to tease him closely, they are interrupted by Akiko, who is enraged at whatever that had been going on behind her back. Everyone gathers, and she explains that the only reason she checks up on her brother is that she is worried as he doesn't have any friends here. They all point out that the reason he can't have any friends is that Akiko doesn't give him any free time to approach others. Upon hearing this, she promises that she will limit herself from meeting him at the school. Later, some guys approach Akito, but since Akiko is peeping at him and continuously giving advice, they are all creeped out, and he is once again left friendless. Another usual day at the residence, as Akiko asks her brother to help her replace the fluorescent light in her room. Akito initially agrees, but after finding out her real intentions, he declines her request. Akiko is expecting him to at least hold the ladder for her, but is disappointed at finding out that he won't help. Akito bumps into the sleepy Nasuhara, who thinks all the doors here are automatic, just like the ones at her home. However, Akito reveals the reality of the house that's rather struck by poverty. Afterward, he helps out others with various things, and as he is picking up laundry, Akiko quickly approaches him and stops him from holding her underwear. Even though she is a creep, she isn't that shameless to let a boy take her underwear into his hands, right? Soon, Nasuhara and the others arrive, and Arashi once again decides to make a move on him to make Akiko envious. Things get bizarre, and Akito accidentally has a glimpse of Arashi's body, making him numbed. Afterward, Nasuhara invites him to her room to discuss some important stuff, and he finds her sleeping there. Nasuhara warns him in advance that she isn't a good type of colleague when it comes to cleaning and cooking, or anything that requires the slightest effort. Akito is surprised at hearing this and promises to teach her about the things. Nasuhara starts offering him weird rewards, even allowing him to use her body as he likes, though the other assures her that he has no such intentions and unpacks all her stuff that had been lying around for days. During the break at school, Akiko wants to give her brother the lunch she prepared, but is astonished to find that Sawatari has already packed him some. As they are talking, Nasuhara arrives and sits between the two to interrupt them. She immediately confesses to Akito and picks up his hand to place it on her breasts. Akiko is enraged at this and begins making weird noises. To make her calm down, Nasuhara does the same with her. Akito arrives home to find Sawatari cooking a meal for him. He notices that she looks pretty and tells her that the two look like a couple standing together, making her blush. Since she has a gift for him, she takes him to her room and puts on new clothes to welcome him inside. Akito reveals that he got his first pay, and since she has been helping them tirelessly with cooking and everything, he got her a cake as a present. Sawatari is amazed that he remembered her favorite thing, and she pours some tea for the two. As they are drinking, Akito compliments her clothes, and she accidentally spills the tea on her clothes. As Akito is helping her clean it, he accidentally touches her breasts, making her embarrassed, and in return, he is knocked out. After everything is cleared, Sawatari asks about his job, as she was the one who helped them get it, and she isn't sure whether it is to his liking. Though he assures her that he is enjoying his time there, though hiding some details. Afterward, he heads to Nasuhara's room and is surprised to find it so clean. She starts teasing him and eventually she gets on top of him. After he compliments her on her ability to boss others around, she gets embarrassed and hides in her blanket. Arashi notifies all the girls to head to the bath, and Akiko is surprised that they're joining in together for the first time. Arashi informs her that it is necessary for them to improve their relationship, and they all start checking out each other's bodies. Sawatari feels jealous of the others since she isn't as built up as the others, and they all start touching her. For their main dish, Arashi brings out body lotions and they start rubbing each other's backs. Sawatari is embarrassed since she isn't used to these type of things, and Arashi teases her more. As they ran out of body soap, they instruct Akito to bring some, and as he approaches the door, he informs them to come pick it up. Since no one is picking it up from him, Sawatari decides to head there, and she accidentally slips onto him. At the student council office, Arashi informs everyone that they must come up with a new nickname for Akito, and she herself starts with an obvious pick. Akito is weirded out by the predatory instincts as she is blunt about making him her sexual target, and the others start coming up with weird ideas as well. Akiko barges into the room and stops them from getting weird ideas as he only belongs to her. Hearing this, they all tell her to take some time off and that they will be happy to sort things out with the principal. She is too dumb to understand their point and starts thinking that they intend to send her to a hospital. On his way back, Akito is contacted by Jinno regarding their work, and he is interrupted by Akiko. Jinno initially thought that she was his girlfriend, but after he informed her that his sister was interrupting him, she was greatly astonished at hearing this. Since Akito has been writing some incestual tales lately, she starts imagining that maybe he is into his sister. As Akito arrives at the office, she starts flirting with him, though she is really bad at it. In their office, she begins making weird postures on the desk, and Akito mistakes her intentions, thinking that she's just trying to imitate some poses from the magazines. Jinno reveals how worried she was at hearing that he has a sister, and he cleans himself up by explaining that reality and fiction are completely different things. Jinno apologizes for the confusion, and they continue their day as usual. At his home, he's looking for something in the store when Arashi enters the room and locks the door. She isn't shy about revealing her intentions, and Akito starts looking for an exit. As she gets on top of him, he spots a heavy object falling and makes a move to protect her, though they end up in another weird situation as Akiko enters the room. They clear the situation during the dinner, and another ridiculous day comes to an end for Akito. After Jinno is done editing her complete story, she reads it once more and feels that Akito is hiding his feelings toward his sister from her. To make sure that nothing of a relationship sort is going on between him and his sister, she heads to their home. As soon as she enters, Jinno finds him washing his sister's body pillow and immediately gets a weird feeling about it. As they all sit to eat, Arashi teases Jinno and tells her that they should go to bed and do some performance. Jinno asks everyone about Akito's relationship with his sister, and they all inform her that he has a sister complex. Even though Akito assures her that her worries are misplaced, she doesn't believe him, and after Akiko arrives, she questions her too. Akiko isn't shy about revealing her brother's complex to her, and she is astonished that Akito is hiding his true feelings from his sister. Everyone suspects that Akito is in love with his sister, despite his denying this, which is why they force him to separate his room from her sister's. In the morning, Arashi informs about their new manager, who will be arriving soon, and believes she is the best candidate for this position. After hearing the introduction from Arashi, Akito suspects that it is someone he knows, and a cute girl enters the house. Akito immediately recognizes the young girl, Elisa, and after everyone asks about their relationship, Elisa reveals that she is his fiancée. And on this cliffhanger, our recap comes to an end. So what do you guys think? Will this show get any weirder? Can it really? Let us know in the comments as we'd love to hear from you. As for everything else, drop us a like, subscribe to Annie Recapped for more awesome anime recaps like this, and hit that notification bell to stay up to date with the latest uploads. With that said, we'll see you in the next one. Peace!